Hello? I don't want my pie, the children. Shadow, why did she make them? My baby was Abbas and I found you to China map of document why did she make it. Amen. I have it in saying, and a person in saying, and about charges upon them, and idea and so on. And opinion against upon them. And some of our phone by your phone go green. One of a phone when you won't cry. As I was paying where American Grimwam one against upon them. And now the same, what I saw that traveling there was done by one morning, Yaku. One woman, what you want when you won't cry, you are, you do a whoop, what on the chinning, you do a whoop, yeah, this what on the chinning. Like I say, I catch your in there. The walk of 4 way, I know, and some of what if you are damaged upon them. One will be, was he? Pray now was a bag, this is a 4 cars, 4 walk on 1 pass with you. Once was a car, so 1 pass with you. You will be out there now, and I say, you could tell you one, so some one. I say, you could say, party. One would be behind your paying for mine. That's your owner, and not Posata, Brahma, a Sabama Posata. And like I say, I got your wine there. What? Yes, Uncle.
Good evening, ladies. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Can you hear me? Yes, now you can hear me. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Morris, and I am here with Daniel Benson, the mastermind and creator of this event. I'd like to call upon the director of the Cape Coast Capital to come and make the introduction. Thank you once again, and thank you so much for waiting. As you know, we had a few technical snags with the rain earlier today, so we started a bit late. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming, and there it is.
Hello. Point for correction. I'm the assistant director of museums. Your Excellency, the United States Ambassador of Ghana, Your Excellency, the Central Regional Minister of Cape Coast, Your Highness, Cobran Katsia, the Sixth of Isikado, Nanano of Cape Coast, Executive Director of Ghana Museums and Monument Board, brothers and sisters from diaspora, distinguished workers of GMMB, media presence, students, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I wish to take this opportunity to welcome you to Cape Coast, and precisely Cape Coast Castle, which this great event is being held. When we talk about Cape Coast, it has many accolades. Cape Coast is the education center of Ghana. we are always equate Cape Coast to Oxford in Britain. When it comes to politics, Cape Coast is being equated to Florida. Hence, the name Cape Coast has become in existence because it was a former capital of the Republic of Ghana. The Cape Coast Castle is one of the 3 beautiful castles in Ghana, being inscribed in the World Heritage List, and has tremendous historical and socio-political facts when it comes to the nation building Ghana. Today, we are formally opening the exhibition with the title, A Memoriam, Portraits of the Middle Passage in Situ, the Chinechim installation. The exhibition gives a historical visualization of the Middle Passage and symbolically a meanings of understanding the larger site and symbol of loss of ancestors of the African diaspora, the Atlantic Ocean. 2, the historical intervention in art presentation, cultural preservation, critical art historical discourse. 3, it has an appropriate cultural bridge for Ghana and the millions of African diasporas as cultural place of origin, remembrance, and closure. On this note, I will crave your indulgence to congratulate Kwame Akoto-Bamfo and Daniel Danson for making this event a reality. On behalf of my Executive Director of Ghana Museums and Monument Board and the Regional Director of Cape Coast Museums, we want to assure the two that our doors are open, and also want to assure all exhibitors in Ghana and diaspora to come and collaborate with us to uplift the image of the institution. Thank you very much. Thank you. You're welcome. Welcome the invited guests. MC. Now I hand over to you to the MC. That is Kwame Sampson.
Thank you very much. At this time, I would like to introduce our mistress of the ceremony. She is a great-granddaughter of Chief Kweku Ando of Elmina, with roots in Elmina, Cape Coast, Sultan. Franca comes to the table with a familiarity, humility, and understanding of the import of this occasion. CEO of Josie's Kappa Cappuccino and Antique Lemonade, art space, writer, blogger, designer, and food stylist. Please let's welcome our mistress of ceremony, Miss Ando.
Thank you, Kwame. Good afternoon. Nana Kwame Edu, the sixth, Obajo Pudding. Nana Nom, Obahima, Melinda Tabor Stone, Deputy Chief of Mission, United States Embassy. Daniel Fennell, Public Affairs Counselor of the United States Embassy. Members of the Diplomatic Corps, brothers and sisters of the diaspora, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and our hosts for this occasion, the people of Cape Coast. My job is simple, and that is to extend a warm welcome and greeting to you all. On behalf of the artist Kwame Akoto-Bamfo, curator Daniel Johnson, and the Ancestor Project, I wish you welcome to the Mofana Parlor. Our first item on the ceremony program is a poem by an esteemed young poet called Hakeem Adam. Hakeem was inspired by the Chinchim installation when he viewed it at the Memoriam in Accra. So please put your hands together and give a huge round of applause to Hakeem Adam as he shares his poetry with us. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Haki. I wrote these 3 poems set against the backdrop of the crashing waves, and I'll read them out to you. The first is titled Seaside Meditation. I feel left at shore, right at the cursed spots where our black bodies dissolved into the blue nothingness of the ocean, where waves conduct the symphony of stories that drowned untold. They enslaved me to carry them home in my palms, bury them in the gaps on our family trees. The second poem is titled Castles. The flags of our nation are the ghosts that bookmark our coast. They are loose teeth in a tight-lipped mouth, afraid to fall, reminding us never to bite too hard. White as redemption, they line our shores and scare the drowned spirits from returning to burn the web of paths in our palm that send them wandering on the ocean floor. The final poem is titled Forever Ago. Never fear the water. It welcomed us in our chains when we had no names. Promised to send the goodbyes we never said to you in the dirges the waves sing. Place them in the stories we forget to tell you. That is where we died. That is where we wish to live. Thank you.
Thank you. Please give him another big round of applause. That was a question. I'd like to introduce Daniel Danson, the curator of this event, and the Afro Maestros, who will be giving us an opening song, Steal Away Home, an African-American spiritual. So let's put our hands together for Daniel Danson and the Afro Maestros. Conducted by A.J. Kwame.
4,000,000 lives pass through this place, through these dungeons they call castles. 4,000,000 souls, human beings. They are not slaves. They were enslaved. They were abducted. They had children and families. When they separated the families, they made sure they went to completely different places, different continents. The people who did this were not traitors. If you look into Wikipedia, they will call them traitors. Those were maniacal, sick people who created a kind of calamity that is like none other. There is no slavery like chattel slavery. It just doesn't exist, except what happened in the Ma'afa, the African Holocaust. This is not simply a museum. This is a dungeon. This is a place where people were tortured. If a woman said she didn't want to be raped, they isolated her and tortured her. If a man tried to escape, they tortured him, lest other people think it's okay to try to escape. When we come here, don't just take selfies. Remember what happened here. There is no atrocity like this. And we will not stand for it again, ever.
I think the National Dance Ensemble and Colette Elwa deserve a huge round of applause for amazing, passionate. Thank you so much. The National Theatre Dance Ensemble will be performing on 31st of September, so if anybody's interested in going, it's bound to be an amazing event. I'd like to announce again Daniel Dunstan and the Afro Maestro Orchestra to do a song entitled Steal Away Home, an African-American spiritual. Another round of applause for Daniel Dunstan and the Afro Maestro conducted by A.J. Chan. Thank you. Monica is a drummer, dancer, and singer. Her musical talents have taken her to Europe. She's performed and taught in Denmark and Holland. And she uses dance to interpret West African culture. So with a huge round of applause, shall we welcome Monica Davis. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you all for being here. I'd like to invite Veronica Bain, who will be doing solo songs. Soon I will be done. Veronica's been singing since she was 3, and this ceremony is very important to her because of her African Caribbean heritage. And I quote, she says, "I'm honored to be singing for you." Presenting Veronica Bain. Thank you.
Soon I will be done with the troubles of the world, troubles of this world, troubles of this world. Soon I will be done with the troubles of this world. I'm going home to live with God no more. Weeping and wailing no more. Weeping and wailing no more. Weeping and wailing. I'm going home to live with my God. I want to see my mother. I want to see my mother. I'm going home to live with my God. I want to see my Jesus. I want to see my Jesus. I'm going.
There's some water in the back for anyone who's interested. And I'd like to introduce our esteemed guest, Nana Kwame Akoto-Bamfo, the 6th Obatufuhene, who it turns out is a poet and is going to be sharing one of his poems with us. So please just give him a huge round of applause. Thank you.
Nana Kobna Kasiota doing Escado him or man him. Honorable Regional Minister, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. This piece is entitled Nchin Chin Chin. Nchin Chin Chin means something sailing, something brine, simply put, salty. And it is a poem with 8 beats and a rhyme scheme of A, A, B, B, C, C, etc. So please crave me your indulgence. Listen, have you not heard the news? Look, have you not seen the dews? It dropped atmosphere and had a message for us here. The rains could have told the story, yet it came with thunder and fury. The sun would have scorched us all. We can't bear it, even with a little fall. Whatever have we done in the past has a story that would haunt and last. We could have held our own strongly, but we let it go so easily. We sold our own, our kith and kin, to those who told a lie to win, and we never cared where they went. Our shame, revulsion of our bent, take us back 500 odd years, and now we remember with tears, soaking our souls, songs, sinews sour. Our strength is now without power. Now the waves tells us a story. They've seen a lot they can't bury. Our people struggled their freedom, and there was no one to free them. The same people they looked up to gave them up to live in vitro, took them straight to captivity, to live less than humanity. 12 million of our kith and kin sold, battered for their poisoned gin. Europeans, North Americans, and their cohorts sold Africans. A story to tell a story. They tried to hush us to bury their vile and their atrocities. But Mother Sea saw through their zeal. Sea waves reached us here with a zeal to reveal the thousands and one bodies and souls we should have won. Should have won roof and food for their families. They are deaf to our homilies and can't perform the Osode nor the Asafo or Ompe. We are seeing, when we see corn husked by the shore and carries among shells before our own eyes is Mother Marine, the symbol of all feminine forms, advising your ancestors had been fed and clothed in castles. Nana Bosompo, we salute. Life owner, listen to our flute. You deserve our total respect. When we look back in retrospect, we applaud you for the haven you provided us, even when they intended to destroy our path to our past, our history. Those who survived are a nation. Their story told in oration are ever remembered for life. Our lives had been sustained through strife. So that's how we tell our story. We will tell it with all fury. Our ancestors with great spirits, we pour libation in our rights. For the repose of your strong souls, with resilience you face your foes. We salute your tenacity. We are not looking for pity for you or our generations. We have a few supplications. Please, protect us from them who want to visit us again with can't. We accord you with great respect and pray for the rest that is perfect. Our forebears were worth a cutlass, a carton of wine, and had no class. Among their master's possessions, they had no right of objections. Their labor was rendered through force, and they cried their hearts out to horse. Sweat poured out as blood through their sores, and bled from pain of opened pores, and callous hearts could not be moved. No, never again. Thus we wailed, "Oh, man's inhumanity. Ow, are you not filled with grief and awe that human beings could survive this as they watched with their families? Some people's minds were at a brink of illusion daily to think that the minds of all Europeans are better than all Africans, that an American is placed above all others as they pleased, as reposed in false analogies. We don't need your vain apologies. They can't make the sun shine brighter, nor stop the sea from its laughter. We are of diverse personality and operate with great dignity. If they had allowed their melody to fuse with our lyrics' beauty, oh, how interesting the cosmos, as listed with flowers and moss, would have been full of spiritual joy. But they took us for a play toy. It is contrary to reason to put fellow men through prison, their spirit, soul, mind, and body, and still treat him with cruelty. You know you can't touch us again. We are salted, not for bargain. Emancipation of our minds has brought us freedom of all kinds. Lincoln did his best for a giant. His jokes apart, he was brilliant. His memory is in our hearts and will forever doth our hearts. Our soil was made of Mother Earth, Asasefua, who gave birth to our mother's mother's mother. She should share our joy, rather, kept our sad souls soured and soiled in the bowels of a heat and boiled the blood as she bled herself from grief instead of joy of self. The spirits in the soil ran out, while the running rainwater shout in ecstasy to join the sea. Our ancestral spirits we see. We cry, not because of weakness. Laughter would have made us useless. Our salted tears prevent decay. We have soldiered on today. Times are different. We have our lives. We've got to work as bees in their hives. It's only then that our freedom could establish our own kingdom and enjoy the honey thereof. We are free, and we could fly off. Today, our hospitality does not mean our stupidity, but A, we shall never forget. As you never showed us regret, we will celebrate the spirits. You could never kill with your rights. You can't touch us. We are sailing. We are blind. Chin chin chin. Thank you.
Thank you, we're almost done with the program, and we're going to invite the Ancestor Project team in a discussion with Daniel Johnson, the curator of this event, and also Kwame Akoto-Bamfo. But before we do that, I'd just like us to bow our heads for a moment in silence for our ancestors. Thank you. Daniel. Please give a huge round of applause. It's been an amazing afternoon. Thank you.
Hello?
All right. Good evening, good afternoon, good evening. I think we're in that transitional period. I want to thank everyone for being a part of this. Fortunately, with a rainy last night and a rainy morning, things got shifted a bit, but I want to make everyone aware that the actual installation is installed within the dungeons, and also in the Palaver Hall. There's a pictorial and sculptural installation as well in the exhibition space there. So we want to take this time, and again, I'm Daniel Dunson, and I've curated this exhibition, but truly the highlight of today is the artist Kwame Akoto-Bamfo and the Ancestor Project, and we have members of the project, the team, here today. So please give them an ongoing round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. So, thank you so much. He deserves another 10 minutes of it. Unfortunately, a lot of people aren't very aware of what a curator does, and they've been confusing what I do with the actual artist. So I want to make sure we separate. Basically, I've come across Kwame's work, and it's in conjunction with the research that I've been doing for the last 4 years. And when I encountered it, I said, wow, this is something that we have to work together to bring forward to Cape Coast in the place of a specific origin, not the origin of people, but the origin of an institution, and that institution is of chattel slavery. That, of course, we know affected the New World. Approximately, there's 6 and still counting 6 million bodies that lay in the bottom of the sea that no one really talks about. And here in Ghana, we have several funerals. We go to them and we show up in big numbers and we wear specific colors. And the same all throughout the world and throughout the diaspora. A funeral is a huge, huge important event in one's life, even though because we believe it's not celebrating the end of one life, but a transition into another realm. So that being said, we just wanted to take time, if not just symbolically, to celebrate the transition to another realm and to put 6 million bodies that no one really talks about in some kind of rest. That's not particularly possible, but I think the ancestors are honored and very happy for these events that have happened today, and the work and inspiration that's come through Kwame Akoto-Bamfo. He's hand sculpted 1,300 heads out of concrete. And he won't stop until he has 11,111. He'll tell you what all those ones mean. He's more articulate about that than I am. So I just thought I would kind of lead a discussion with you guys. And we also have 2 members of the Ancestor Project. We have Ni and we have Na, which made it a little difficult as I'm putting the names under each photograph that they've done, Ni and Na. But their photos are on display in the Palaver Hall. They have basically, oh, and I'm so sorry. This is the Ni. You're supposed to be up here. Please give a hand for Ni Ojima. He never wants to come up. Ni and Na are the photographers. This other Ni, as you can see, is quite confusing, is the lead sculptural apprentice who's been with Kwame for quite some time. So I'm just going to go into it, and then we'll leave it open for anyone who wants a few questions before we leave this evening. And hopefully you can get a chance, if the sunlight is good to us, you can see the installations that are still left. The sunlight that's still left will help you in the dungeon see the amazing work that Kwame's done. And then very last, you can take a look at the Palaver Hall, which has electricity, so you'll be able to see things quite easily. Okay, Kwame, what inspired you to do the Nchim installation?
Okay, so before I start, I want to Before I start, I want to give some credit to Danny himself and my lead apprentice, me, Farouk Pate Forte, my team members, both who are here and those who are behind the scenes, and then those who are not present. It's been a lot of work, and even though I have my name on the poster, from day one, I've always had people who are having my back, who are helping me with research, and then who are helping me sculpt. So I would want to give credit to all of these guys before I start.
Hello? Hello.
So back to your question, the inspiration came from me as a Ghanaian, and that's the part that I want people to get. Me as a Ghanaian, not as an American, not as somebody from Trinidad and Tobago, not as a black Brazilian, but me as a Ghanaian trying to find my own roots. So I took upon myself to do some research aside what I was being taught in school, and every time I looked in the books, the transatlantic slave trade and the Middle Passage kept, popping their heads out. So all of what I discovered, I felt that I should leave some kind of time capsule for my siblings and for the next generation. And so I thought, what better way to do it than to create a museum of sorts, to document everything that I'm finding, and to open this museum out to have people like Daniel, Farouk Forte, Neo Jema, Dr. Badele Kambon, and all the siblings of the diaspora to also contribute to this narrative. So that's what inspired the creation of the Chinchin installation.
So I know that this is something else I wanted to say, that I know that there have been several people who have lended their research, their talents, be it academics, artists. There are even ethnographic interviews of different local people to explain things. If you take a look at all the dungeons, they're marked with a few descriptions. Here at the male dungeon, we have a description that describes the faces and how each facial expression is very important. And if you step back towards the female dungeon, which is at the door of no return, you'll see a write-up about hairstyles. So each piece actually has its own unique adornment of the hair, be it a scarf or a beard or even a bald head. There's a certain attention that's been done towards grooming. And one of the people responsible for that is Nee, who is one of the lead apprentices on this project. Tell me about how your project has involved many artists working with you directly as apprentices, and how you started with that in the community.
Part of the Chinchin installation, which is also a small part of the bigger whole ancestor project, is to educate and then empower youth. And as part of that, I felt I should bring other people, because the story of Africa is not mine alone to tell. So there were two ways to approach that. I needed to invite people on board, and then I needed to empower people in the process. So I started a little apprenticeship program, and he was the second person who enrolled. And he's been the longest person I've been working with. So yeah, so there have been so many volunteers, people who can actually sculpt, and then people who can lift pens, and then people who can clean the floor. All these people I like to give credit.
Yes, absolutely. What people don't know, and hopefully they'll take a look when they go to the Palava Hall, is that we've had 3 or maybe 4 private exhibitions. And what I mean by that is just us and the photographers. So the team, we've set up the heads in different locations. So we do know about the Memorial, Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, which was an open to the public exhibition. And then we also had an exhibition at Usher Fort. where if you take a look at the walls in Palapa Hall, you'll see the work of Na Abiana Nelson and Neojima to see their amazing pictorial work. So you are allowed to be at those exhibitions through the pictures. So Abiana, you want to say anything? Okay. I told her I wouldn't put her on the spot. So, but I do want to highlight Abiana. There are not a lot of women in the field of photography, and even in the field of art, it seems to be something that is privileged towards men still. And I just want to celebrate Na Abiana Nelson as an amazing photographer, and also putting herself out there as an apprentice and working with this. This is her first exhibition. So I want to encourage that. This is also one of Neojima's one of his first exhibitions that his work is being seen as well. So I want us to encourage them and definitely take a look upstairs at the Palapa Hall. So I've spoken enough. We want to keep this brief. Are there any questions for Kwame and out in the audience? If so, we can answer those quickly and move forward. Okay. So I'll step around.
First, thank you, dear Nana. Thank yous for this work. I so appreciate it. I know I speak for African Americans, for the diaspora. It is such a treasure that you've done here. My question is, are there any plans to have it travel after the closing of the exhibit here? Because certainly more people need to see it, So, and whatever way we can support, I'm offering all of us in support.
Yes, there are plans to travel. I've been working on that with Danny. But like you said, we can't do that without your support. One insider tip information I like to give is, after Nkrumah Park, I was totally spent. So everything that you see here, this next step in the journey of the Nchinchim installation is all Danny and Morris and the U.S. Embassy and the African American Association of Ghana, who have come together to help to do this. So if the work is going to continue, then we will need to keep contributing and playing our part in this narrative, the telling of this story. Yes.
Okay, we have one more question.
Thank you for this explanation. My question is that is this going to be closed every year?
Is this installation going to be held every year? That's something we haven't finalized and discussed. I don't know, every year is a really hard task, but it's definitely something that can be revisited. I think we are really looking to taking the exhibition throughout Africa, places like Benin, even Mali, even Morocco, because we're considering the Sahara Desert slave trade as well. And so we would love for this to tour Africa. We would love for it to tour Europe and places in the Americas as well. So hopefully after that it can even still come back here. However, the most important part is where they will be put finally to rest and in their final installation. So Kwame's going to talk about that.
So after the ancestors are toured, we are having plans to install them at Adam, where we are now going to work backwards and forwards to pre-colonial and then post-colonial narratives.
Thank you.
In a sequel to my granddaughter's question, I believe that we could institutionalize this, because we have the Pan Affair that is held once every 2 years. So alternative years, we would come and bring our brethren from the diaspora come every other year, so that it goes on every 2 years. I believe that would be very important. It needs planning anyway, and a lot of things to be done. So if you think about that, I think it will help most of people. Thank you.
I think that's a possibility because in every year we are only going to have more artworks produced. So it's something we've been thinking about, and we hope it will become a possibility. It's something that we're also interested in pushing forward.
So Nana, you're inviting me back to come another 2 years. Okay. So we'll do a collection for my plane ticket. And no, I'll be honored. I want to go and come as much as I can here. So Ghana is very special to me. So yes, I would love to come back and continue working. And I've been posted with the Ancestor Project as their curator. So everywhere they go, you'll see me. And hopefully places, wherever I go, you'll see at least one of them with me, so we can partner with this and bring this all over the world. So thank you very much. Is there any other statement or, yes, please.
Yes, thank you. I want to say that I'm so grateful, like my sister said, for taking this work up, knowing that it is a part of your purpose and responsibility to bring a visual narrative to a portion of our history, our story. And that I would hope that with the numbers that you are going to generate, that somehow a portion of the installation could be put in a permanent place. So when people are coming, they can always get a glimpse at what it is that you're doing. When we go to Senegal, we have that wonderful memorial statue, and we don't have anything like that here in Ghana. So I would hope that with the numbers that you're going to be generating, that we can choose a place and create a memorial park with your work. Thank you.
So that's really interesting, because I don't think she heard what his response was to her question. So I'm going to speak in a center because I want everyone to catch what I'm about to say. This whole installation is in progress for the Ancestor Memorial Park that is in Ada. The land is already sanctioned and set apart. We are taking donations for that now. There will be installed a memorial wall where each and every head will be in place. So what this is to create some type of buzz about it, to get people involved with it. You know, a lot of people have told me, oh, you know, the art scene isn't really that big yet in Ghana. And I think that's you know, the art scene was never big anyway, with the culture change, with people being excited about something. So if we can use our excitement, even though our excitement about this comes from a very invested, spiritual and historical place, that's still fine. We can bring the arts to Ghana, we can elevate it so that things can be seen that can be seen no place else. So we want people to come here. Their permanent home will be the Ancestor Memorial Park, which will be in Ada. Okay, we're in plans for that, I believe, as early as the end of this year. Yeah, so I just want to make everybody know that. So, and then we'll be able to still take them from there to show them in other places. I don't see why not Tamale, why not, you know, wherever they can be within Ghana, but also Nigeria, also Senegal. I really want the West Coast countries of Ghana to be involved with this, as well as many countries throughout Europe and the Western world. Do we have any other questions before we end this today? Any other statements? Okay, so I think we've all held you here long enough. It's time to take a look further at the exhibition before we lose most of the sun. I cannot say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you enough. This has been a privilege and an honor. To do this exhibition here in Ghana means the world to me. This is actually my first curation. I want to repeat that. This is my first exhibition. I don't think everybody understood what I said. I came to Ghana to do my first exhibition as an art historian, and that means so much to me. So I want to thank Kwame, who is not only an amazing artist, He has been a very inspirational brother. We've been glued together for the last 3 months. As soon as we met each other, we became fast friends. I want to thank the Ancestor team. I want to thank everyone who helped, the technicians, those here at Cape Coast who really did lended their hands in support. I want to thank my dear friend Franca for doing an amazing job of emceeing. Please give her a round of applause. Thank you so much. There's so many people I want to thank, so I'm going to stop thanking because that means I'm going to forget somebody. Okay, one person. My cousin came this morning all the way from Chicago to come to this. So, hey, thank you. All the way. This is her first time in West Africa. This is her first time in Ghana. So if I've done one thing, I brought one more tourist to come, and I'll make sure she shops. And all right, so if there's anything else that Kwame would like to say before we say good evening.
I just want to thank everybody for making this happen. You have proven that this is not my story to tell, that it's our story. So from all the online donations and then the contributions, the advice, the tips, the critique, I'm so thankful and grateful for it. I'll take everything to heart and then I'll try to do better and not disappoint everybody who came here. So thank you so much for coming. It means a lot to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Please enjoy the rest of the installation while there's enough sunlight in Oliver Hall as well for the photo exhibition. Thank you so much.